This is crazy, and this fight is still going on, right? This isn't something historical.
This class of chemicals is still unregulated.
It sounds so dramatic when you say it, that we have been poisoned, but that fact that comes up in the film, that all of us, 99% of us, me and you sat here now, have this forever chemical, PFOA, in our bodies.
Yeah. Even though the biggest health study in human history, 70,000 people, was done on this chemical. It's the most studied chemical in the history of chemicals.
Holy guacamole, folks! Marc Ruffalo just dropped a truth bomb bigger than Trump's ego. He's saying we've got toxic chemicals swimming around in our bodies like it's a pool party. Meanwhile, Trump's busy tweeting about windmill cancer. It's like comparing a nuclear meltdown to a sunburn. Want to know what's really cooking in your body? Stick around, because this tea is hotter than Trump's fake tan. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Alright folks, it's time to get real. Marc Ruffalo isn't just flexing his Hulk muscles on screen anymore. He's got some scary stuff to share that'll make you wish you could turn big and green and smash your way out of this mess. So picture this. There's a wild party going on inside your body right now and you didn't even RSVP.
What we do probably in the next 10 years will be crucial to the future of the planet. And this is only going to become more and more evident to us.
And do you think there's like a really urgent parallel here with the climate crisis going on right now? You know, the waters and the earth being polluted.
I think the world should consider my president as public enemy #1 at this point.
These uninvited guests are called Forever Chemicals, and they're not leaving anytime soon. In fact, they've crashed the party in 99% of American bodies. That's more unwelcome visitors than at a Trump rally. And trust me, those are packed. Now, imagine these chemicals having a rave in your bloodstream. It's like spring break, but instead of college kids, it's toxins doing keg stands and body shots. And let me tell you, these party animals are not here for a good time. They're linked to 7 major diseases, including the Big C. And no, I'm not talking about the one Trump likes to grab. But here's the kicker. Why hasn't anyone shut down this toxic shindig? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because it turns out there are 0 regulations on these chemical crashers. It's like leaving Donnie Diapers in charge of a nuclear plant. What could possibly go wrong? Ruffalo isn't just sitting back and watching this disaster unfold. He's gone full-on environmental avenger, producing a film called Dark Waters to shine a light on this mess. It's like he's trying to assemble a team of everyday heroes to fight off these invisible baddies.
The only reason we don't is because we didn't know what was happening, but now we do. And thanks to Rob a lot and this beautiful community of people who fought for 20 years, it's definitively linked to 7 different major diseases, testicular cancer and kidney cancer. We still don't have any regulations to get justice and to have their story told. We were able to make Dark Waters and able to tell the rest of the world what every major publication in the world should have done 10 years ago.
And get this, while Ruffalo's out there trying to save our butts, what's our commander-in-chief up to? Well, according to the Hulk himself, Trump's EPA is about as effective as a chocolate teapot. Ruffalo says it's like leaving the fox in charge of the henhouse. I don't know about you, but I'd rather not have my drinking water regulated by a guy who thinks windmills cause cancer. Speaking of drinking water, here's a fun fact that'll make you spit out your tap water. Over 100 million Americans might be sipping on PFOA-laced H2O right now. And the best part, there's no legal requirement to filter this stuff out. It's like playing Russian roulette every time you turn on the faucet. Hold on to your hair pieces, folks, because we're about to enter the wild and wacky world of Trump's environmental policy. Remember when America used to lead the charge on scientific progress? Well, those days are as distant as Trump's natural hair color.
Well, when I read it in the New York Times Magazine, I was so blown away by it, by the depth and the scope of it. At that time, I was looking for stuff to produce, and this really sat well within my activism and political work and environmental work, and I couldn't believe that I wasn't reading about it on the cover of the New York Times, that it wasn't on the cover of every major publication in the world.
While Marc Ruffalo is out there trying to save us from invisible chemical invaders, our Orange-in-Chief is busy fighting windmills? You heard that right. Grumpy Trumpy thinks those giant fan blades are out to get us. It's like watching a toddler try to explain quantum physics, but this toddler has access to nuclear code. Trump's approach to climate change is about as scientific as a magic 8 ball. Shake it up and you might get answers like outlook not so good or ask again later. But in Trump's world, it's more like windmills cause cancer or climate change is a Chinese hoax. Who needs facts when you've got gut feelings, right? Speaking of gut feelings, Trump's pulled out of the Paris Agreement faster than he backs out of paying contractors. It's like he's playing a game of climate change chicken with Mother Nature. And let me tell you, Mother Nature's got a mean streak that makes Trump's Twitter tirades look like love letters. But what's the rest of the world saying about America's new role as climate change denier-in-chief? Well, they're not exactly throwing us a parade. The global community is looking at us like we've lost our marbles. And can you blame them? We've gone from putting a man on the moon to struggling with basic climate science. One small step for man, one giant leap backwards for mankind.
Obviously, America, the most powerful country in the world, should be leading this fight, but your president is not a believer in climate crisis. How do you feel about this?
It could have a profound impact and could teach people that they've been poisoned and were completely left out of the decision of that poisoning. I realized also like how powerful films are for getting out information if you can make it good and entertaining and moving.
It's like we're in some bizarre alternate reality where the US has traded in its lab coat for a dunce cap. Trump's environmental policies are so reactionary, they make Internet Explorer look cutting edge. We're not just falling behind, we're sprinting in the wrong direction. Remember when other countries used to look up to us for leadership on global issues? Now they're looking at us the way you look at your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving dinner, with a mixture of pity, concern, and the desperate hope that he'll pass out before he says something even more embarrassing. Folks, it looks like the real superheroes aren't just on the big screen anymore. Marc Ruffalo's gone full Hulk mode, but instead of smashing buildings, he's smashing climate change denial, and he's not alone. There's a whole army of young activists ready to save the day faster than you can say, Avengers Assemble. These eco-warriors are taking to the streets, making noise, and giving Mother Earth a much-needed hug. Ruffalo's cheering them on like a proud papa, saying these kids are the real MVPs in the fight against climate change. He's even encouraging folks to join groups like Extinction Rebellion. That's right, he wants us to get off our butts and make ourselves uncomfortable to save the planet. After all, we can't just CGI away rising sea levels like they do in the movies. So, what's it gonna be, people? Are you gonna join Ruffalo's green team or let Trump keep blowing hot air about windmill cancer? The choice is yours, but remember, our planet's future is at stake. Time to trade in those comfy couches for some good old-fashioned peaceful protesting. Who knows, maybe we'll even get to wear cool superhero costumes.